Hello everybody. This video I'd like to tell you more about myself. It's called I Do This Because. I do this because as a Tesla, not an Edison. You too can be a Tesla if you invent things. And you can be an Edison if you're really good at business and you steal people's inventions. So I'm a Tesla, not an Edison. Elon Musk is an Edison, not a Tesla. And that should really sum up everything I have to say about this video. Years ago, I had the chance of building a company with an all-electric car. I kept putting in input to my hacked computer. I'm going to tell you the truth. My hacked computer that I would receive verifications that somebody was listening. I would ask questions like, "Are you listening?" Then I'd get a tweet indicating yes. Other times, I'd have to just take it that the NSA doesn't play with its surveilled people, and it's probably 24/7 audio recording. They can't afford video, that would be way too expensive on them. Plus it would provide them with too little extra input, extra stuff, extra data. So with Tesla, these are the things that could only exist because of me. Now you're going to say, what's your proof? Let me tell you the story first before you become a lawyer, then we'll talk about proof. My proof rests in myself, and it rests in the offending party. If Edison wants to make the evolution into Tesla one day, then he will by becoming honest about what he's stolen. But if not, then, well, you make my life harder, and ultimately, if you slip up even once on camera, I can pin you for fraud. You'll go to jail for about 7 years, or 7 years per violation. So if you're caught on camera 2 or 3 times, that's 14 to 21 years. Unless I'm misinterpreting the law here. Look it up yourself. Ask a lawyer. If you're rich enough, make that phone call. So, with Edison Musk, I contributed batteries, the idea of battery factory, the idea of it being built in Nevada. I knew that they had all that desert, all that excess land with no usage. So that was a strong point of leverage going into that negotiation. Hey, Elon must have said, in other words, or these words exactly, "We're going to build a factory here. What can you do for us in terms of tax incentives?" And then Nevada said, "We understand that if we don't give you enough tax incentives, you'll go somewhere else. Maybe a nicer place. A place that isn't pure desert. So we'll give you this nice deal." Alright, it's a deal. It's called Sparks Nevada. I called it Sparks Nevada. I said it had to be called Sparks Nevada because there was a stupid song. There's this girl that I was in love with. Her name is Taylor Swift, and there was a stupid song about sparks fly. I thought I'd fly her over while telling her this instead of telling the world this and waiting to see what happens. Actually telling her this, then kissing. That was the big win for me. I didn't want money from Elon. I did bill him for something like $10 million because there were other contributions. Dual motor. The battery packs, we got them sold on. Purchasing Solar City. The semi-trucks. Why ignore trucks when it comes to electric? And from there I got Project Hex. If you want to learn more about Project Hex, I'm keeping it somewhat of a secret. So you can view it if you look at the descriptions in the download area, not download area, in the description area. I'll put one of the links to part 1 there. That's my 9.5. My 9 best. And transmission. And even now, I have to say, it's weird being the secret Tesla. It's weird because it's forcing me to live a double life. Here at home, look around. Here at home, I am poor and the equivalent to a lowlife who has to take a disability check eventually. I don't have disability now, but eventually, if no company discovers its heart or realizes that I will puncture its very eyes and ears, that I will be blind and deaf for the rest of the world's life. When I have the upper hand, then, well, I'm not getting out of this anytime soon. But all that I'm telling you is true. There's no angle on it. It's simply stuff that happened. It's simply things that happened that led to me being here. I could talk more about God, etc. And it would be a good thing to say that he saved me from my time in jail, and so did my mother and friends. I know this is confusing to you, but part of it started, there were 3 beginnings to this. Once, when I was a kid, I realized, somehow I just knew. I saw the numbers, and there were such high numbers for anti-terrorism programs, and I knew that the status of the nation was pretty much what it is right now, clueless idiots running things. So I knew that there were going to be surveillance. I didn't have to look it up or anything, I just knew. So I told my friends to say the word qumbala, which in Arabic means bomb, to put us all on that list, to waste money because we wouldn't do anything like that, none of us. And they were all for it. It was my way of saying, look, by selecting people whose names are like Muhammad or Jafar, you're basically being an evil racist who's wasting really important dollars that otherwise wouldn't be wasted. And that's when I first knew we were being surveilled, in 2004. So since then, I've contributed a few times, I've forgotten about it a few times, but it's felt like living in a Big Brother state all those years. But at the same time, guess what? God always knows absolutely everything that happens, even better than any surveiller. So he's watching the pricks that are watching us. If you want a lead to something unusual, I haven't figured out what quite happened yet, but look up reality winner, in quotes. She got 25 years of jail. She's a former NSA person, and I'm wondering why reporters aren't visiting her to ask her what happened. She could probably be the perfect person to talk all about the NSA, now that she's been given 25 years of her life in jail. I spent a little bit over a year in jail plus, and it was hell, man. There's nothing like freedom. That's the only reason why people want to come over to this country. That's the only reason why Hollywood is so popular, because it's seen as freedom, a form of freedom. Is that too dark for you? Back in the light. So it ends for the opposing team the moment I have my hand on anything like $1 million, because I have teams of lawyers. I can pay off NSA people that way. I can get my own recordings that I've done that can prove, for example, a verifiable connection between myself and Party A, Party B, Party C. And, one addition. I invented the rocket that returns for SpaceX. It was a simple thing. They were throwing up rockets into the atmosphere where only parts of it would survive, but I thought, in my mind of minds, why not simply have a rocket that returns? Wouldn't that save you money? That would allow you to charge less money, which would mean more space launches. Plus, you wouldn't have to build a new rocket every single time. So, this has been Honest Mo, although you can call me Ann if you wish.